And we're live. We're live. We are currently Australia's #1 threat to Australian democracy. And to start us off, we've already been banned from my Facebook page.
And YouTube, probably.
Oh, I'm not on YouTube.
Oh,
So YouTube,
we're having trouble sharing the Facebook.
Yep.
We've lost 2.
Fucking me.
They saw us coming.
So we'll see. We've got Tom's on there. We've got this. Okay. So, and what a show tonight. So above this was Robin approached me about what we're going to do about this show, and we suggested that we do it live. We've got the fabulous Wayne above us. How you going, Wayne?
G'day. Fun.
No, we've just lost Café Locked Out removals. Is Donna still live? Is that what we're...
They're just kicking us out before we've started.
It's finished.
The ASIO flower van is working overtime tonight.
So how are you, Wayne?
I'm good.
And what do you think this is going to be? Do you think they're going to be selling us to the world as in this new community that you should get to know?
Oh, they'll be definitely selling us as terrorists, I'd say. I feel, I mean, I didn't even hear the title of it. I haven't seen it. But as soon as I heard, what was the title again, Robin? What was it called?
Investigating the growing threat to Australia's democracy.
The opening sentence is a threat. We're a threat for having conversations and just, talking about things that everybody wants to talk about. But for some reason, you're considered a threat or some sort of a supremacist for having conversations. And yeah, it's going to be hilarious, man. But I think they're going to come at it as if there's some kind of journalistic integrity intact. And I think it's going to pretty quickly devolve into a shit slinging propaganda piece.
Yeah.
But yourself, Robin, what do you think's going to happen? Have you watched it at all?
No, I've seen maybe 30 seconds of it. I think there'll be a lot of labelling and terminology that will portray the freedom movement in a particular way. I think there will definitely be an emphasis on, that word threat. And that we're a threat to the democracy, and of course all Australians want to maintain the perceived democracy that we have left, and probably I don't know. I think, as always, corporate media will try to make some links between. We've already been branded domestic terrorists before, but the word extremism perhaps might come up. I'm not sure.
And yourself, Tom, #1. What do you think?
I just think I was open-minded until you said the title. I was like, okay, maybe let's be open-minded, and then you said the title.
Maybe that'll be all right.
The growing threat to our democracy. I mean, who are the people who are trying to shut down free speech? It's not us. We want to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like, it's to protect all the kids under 16, but it's exactly like the vaccine. It won't work. It won't work unless you get it. So unless you get the digital ID, the under 16s won't work either. Same sort of mentality, actually.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just seeing. Oh, no, it says it's not working, but it seems to be working. So anyway, guys, it doesn't seem to be working on Michael Gray Griffith's interviews. So we've got a few. Let's see if we can get it on somewhere else before we go.
The people on WTF on Facebook, if everyone could share it from there, because that's still up, that's working.
Yeah, we're still too small for them to notice, maybe. Can we? Is there any way
So-
we can quickly slap together a bingo sheet for tonight? I want on my bingo sheet. I definitely want footage of the neo-Nazis marching in Melbourne. I think they're going to throw that up at least once, but possibly twice.
Yeah.
They'll show those guys, and they'll be like, "Look at this." So that's on my bingo sheet. Threat will be used multiple times, so that's a given.
Racist.
What?
Racist.
Racist,
How many times will the word racist come up? I reckon
We should have made a
6
drinking
times.
game out of it. To be honest, we could have had a shot every time they.
I reckon at least 5 times. Sovereign
Yeah,
citizen.
there you go.
Sovereign citizen 5 times.
So there's a bingo sheet. What do you think going into this, Michael? What do you reckon?
I think they're going to look as though they're trying to be understanding, but they're going to have that tone of condescension that they just can't shake.
Yeah,
they just can't shake. They just can't. You know what I mean? And this is basically done. To be honest, I actually think this is an attack on. It's almost like business. We're a threat. We're taking viewers away from them, and they're watching independent media. Not just us, Topher, Marie Z, all these others, the Hoodie and stuff. We're a threat, and this is acknowledgement of the threat, and but without actually coming out and acknowledging it. You know, we're a threat. Yeah, we're a threat to them. You know, and I think it's because we offer them what the ABC public want. They want discourse. They want debate. They want challenge. You guys on What the Fuck are great because you don't all agree on everything, and for some reason you still get on. That's the Australia I want to live in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's the old Australia.
I'm wondering how they're going to connect, sovereign citizen, sheriffs, freedom fighters, because we're not all the same, especially this concept of sovereign citizens. I'll be interested to see what they do with this.
They're going to try and paint everybody with the same big brush, and that's what they always do. And that brush is going to slowly turn from the start to these people don't really know what they're doing, and by the end, that brush is going to be racist, bigot. I think that's how it's going to go.
Who's streaming to Twitter? I'm just going to do this now. I've noticed that if you retweet your tweet now, that the show, if you do a retweet now, it actually brings in more people.
Yeah, man. Do the retweet.
Active now.
You got Dragon Fishy.
Yeah, that's.
You've got WTF. Oh, cool. All right. So
Paul might be watching. He's not due on, but he's able to come on whenever he wants. So if he feels like coming on, we might be graced by the Oost, which would be great. So, but I will sneakily get it onto his Twitter because it's right up his alley. Now he told me it was a hit piece. He watched some of it, but that's all I have. Doctor Who with Doctor Out. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Shall we start?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
First off, ABC, we don't hate you. We don't. We feel a bit sorry for you, but we don't hate you. The end is always difficult. Okay.
The death throes.
That's right.
Circling the drain. We're in.
An offensive from the fringes has been launched against mainstream society.
This is your opportunity to leave. If you don't do that,
Haven't got all that.
How do you feel then when you get labelled as a domestic terrorist?
It's just what we call the spin. It's like the sovereign citizen. It's out there to try and discredit us.
It's a quasi-civil war. And the front lines are courts, councils and cops.
Thank you. You may be seated.
The new armies are self-appointed law enforcement groups.
The defendants, in this case, former Prime Minister Scott Morrison, on the charge of human trafficking.
Guilty.
And so these sovereign citizens, what are they saying?
Some people call these groups sovereign citizens.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
I am a sovereign citizen, and everyone is a sovereign citizen.
Many try to distance themselves from the label.
Is this the peak body representing the sovereign citizen movement?
Nah, there is.
Okay. I win.
Jude, how fast? How long in are we?
We're like
1 minute, a minute and 11 seconds.
Has mentioned 5.
You just won the bingo.
Actually, it should be the other way. It should be. Remember, you got those horses in a race, and you're putting coins or something in to try and make them go. So at the moment, I'm 5 horse lengths.
You're
away.
5 in. All right,
There's
keep
no
count.
And
Comment
there is no
section.
sovereign citizen movement.
Whatever they call themselves, these groups are united in a belief that the government is illegitimate. They operate in an alternate reality where people have ultimate authority over the state. They believe a new age is coming.
Stand your ground, hold your line in line.
Post-COVID, the sovereign citizen movement is not fringe anymore.
Shot.
Governments are underestimating the reach and threats of these movements.
These groups take us inside their movement for the first time. We ask them what they want and what they're prepared to do to get it.
People that are angry and are willing to choose which laws to obey or not do start making death threats. This is really violent. We have to be really careful about this. This is not a laughing matter.
It's Tom's pissing himself. You laughing at how he said violent matter? Violent matter. Maybe it's just a hit piece on sovereign citizens.
Here he comes.
I just need a driver's license. You're the driver.
I'm not driving. Driving is a techno term for in-commerce. Please provide evidence I'm doing business.
You might recognise these scenes.
But I'm not under your law.
As a driver,
I do not have to.
As I've observed you driving,
are you conspiring to commit murder? In fact, you can't force rape me.
Is it your vehicle?
During COVID, a group of people started broadcasting their clashes with police.
Travelling in my private property.
No, you can call it whatever you like, but I'm telling you, you're driving a motor vehicle in Victoria.
It's easy. Oh, whoa.
No, simple. You're under arrest.
Please state your name and address.
The common law does not require...
Please state your name and address or I'll place you under arrest.
Let me put it to you that acts only apply to persons, to fictitious people. I'm a living man. Do you agree that I'm a living man?
You don't have consent. If you break my window... Open it up. If you break my window, no, you are trespassing against my property, sir.
But what starts as a bold declaration of freedom from the law can quickly turn to financial ruin or imprisonment.
You're on my property, mate. I'm asking you.
I'm on your property because we are impounding your vehicle.
I want to meet the man in this video.
You're breaking the law, fellas. I know the law.
John, how are you? I'm good. I think I'm at the end of your street. How are you, John? Good to meet you. Thanks for having us.
That's good.
Appreciate it.
Come on board.
Oh, I know him.
One-time law student John Quaremba lives on a houseboat docked on Hindmarsh Island.
Come on, mate.
Thanks for having us.
So it's pretty basic, anybody?
How long have you been out here?
2 years. 2 years now on the boat. This is good. The coffee was all right, coffee. We'll make a beautiful coffee for you, mate.
From his boat, John is waging what he calls lawfare against the system. He has thousands of followers.
I think what I see, and I said to you, it's like a quasi-civil war. Yeah, it's like a paper war. Now, sugar?
When COVID border closures kept him from visiting his mother, John began questioning the government.
My mum was, you know, she was getting cancer treatment. She was in stage 4. So when we weren't able to see her, that was profound, because it was the first time that I thought, wait a second, I thought we were one country, like a federated country, and then they closed the borders. And we were like, and so that then really started making me question the law, and I did always want to sort of study. And at that time,
But you also really you wanted to see your mum, right?
I really wanted to see mum, yeah. So I went over, I broke the law, that they said there was at the time. And that was pretty tough. This is the thing that, I didn't get vaccinated, I didn't wear a mask, I was ostracised in my community. I had pretty strong beliefs about what was going on. We haven't had any accountability, and the people are still angry. Under the surface, still bubbling, that anger is still bubbling.
Anger over COVID restrictions reached a crescendo in 2022 during the convoy to Canberra.
Stand your ground, hold your line in light, in love and peace, and lawfully.
It would become the largest protest ever held on the steps of Parliament.
Oh, wow, they've actually admitted it.
That's admitted it. I remember that.
It's a bit of a sticky situation, Abby.
John took on a leadership role.
Because I'm not going to be intimidated by you.
I can still hear the excitement in your voice.
But it was because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know. I thought I was just going there to be a protester, like everybody else, just say enough's enough. But then what happened when I got there, really quickly within sort of 48 hours, I found myself like right at the tip of the spear.
Unit, forward, forward.
The protesters were kicked out, and one of the organisers was arrested when police found his loaded sawn-off rifle.
That's playing good.
The convoy was over, but a new movement was born.
Oh, they haven't even mentioned Epic.
No, they just said convo. Yeah. They're not going to
For
call
a
it
lot
Epic.
of people, that was the first time that they'd really confronted law as a coercive force. The law telling you that you can't do the thing that you really want to do. I have to wear a mask in public. I have to get the vaccine if I want to go into this job. That felt really onerous for a lot of people. And suddenly, law was not always their friend.
Dr. Joe McIntyre has been charting the rise of what's called pseudo-law. It's where people use legal-sounding phrases and arguments that have no actual basis in law. They're often drawn from conspiracy theories.
There were gatherings of anti-vax protesters that really operated to help disseminate a lot of the theory of pseudo-law. And then that spread back into the regions, and we've got different hotbeds all around Australia.
So I was finding out who was going and who was challenging the system. So there's different methods of challenging it that the people are doing.
John operates in an alternate legal world, and it's difficult to make sense of it.
This is some of the paperwork that comes through that's been actually interpreted into sort of Australian jurisdiction to explain what it is, okay? So, and this is why I've never presented this to any authorities, okay, because I innately know what's going on with the sovereign citizen movement. Okay, that's a declassified AFP document. So this here is literally what they are talking about. So that there, where you see when someone's put a thumbprint on there, the AFP and the authorities say that if you see that anywhere, you're dealing with a sovereign citizen. They don't worry about what's written on there. They look at something as an identifier here. But when you look at that identifier, you can also see that there's a public notary.
The light's on the table.
Right. So it has come to my attention that the occupying Unidroit government is in flagrant violation of Palermo Protocol through unconscionable use of debased dog Latin glossa fraud. Therefore, I'm cancelling power of attorney of my legal persons and all relevant trade names back to the permanent domicile of the land and soil jurisdiction of Terra Australis, commonly known as the Commonwealth of Australia. Effectively,
John believes this document cancels his legal status in the mainstream system. This, he says, allows him to live his life according to a set of principles he calls common law.
So what is common law?
Well, In whose eyes? I mean,
in your eyes.
Well, in my eyes, common law sort of means a few things. Common law is, do no harm, injury, or loss. Just come over here, mate. Just let me step.
Very clever editing so far.
The way these groups use the term common law is
they're
different
making
to
it
the way our
seem very
legal system
confusing
does.
because they're not going to actually let him say
it empowers them.
Say much to explain anything. So anyone watching from an outside point of view at this point's going, "What the fuck is this guy on about?" Because they always seem to cut away before he has a chance to actually say anything that makes sense. And I don't think they ever will. Because they're not going to want people to go, "Oh, that actually makes sense. I want to look into it." They want to make it look fucking crazy. So they're doing clever editing at the moment to make it seem extremely confusing on purpose, I believe.
Yeah. It looks to me like they're editing or anything good, they're editing out.
Mm-hmm.
Natural, God-given law that is superior to any of the rules that govern society.
Can you see why these ideas might appeal to most people? This is really a powerful spell. If I cast this spell properly, I don't have to pay my mortgage.
We've all been bewitched by freedom, everyone. We've been bewitched by freedom.
The freedom fairy got us.
But notice they
he's not happy
notice
with
they
us.
flashed to a guy in a suit. They flashed to a guy in a suit with a cup of tea, and everything makes sense again.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Now listen, it's all bewildering, and it would be appealing to certain people, I know, but that's part of the cult, I guess."
Yeah.
And that's basically where they're going with it. But it's very on purpose. He's wearing a suit. He's in a lovely house. Everything's really nice. And when it zooms back to old mate, he's sitting there going, "Well, you want a cuppa?" Like it's, why didn't they show this guy making the tea and reaching in there looking for sugar and zoom in on his coffee pot? Because they're painting these guys in different pictures. They want this guy to stand out and be the authority, and they want the other guy to see him like a lunatic.
They did say fringe, so they've got someone living in a boat. He's getting out of the car. He's, they're showing the fringeness. No, even when they went down his coffee, look how dirty his coffee thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on.
Who wants to pay their mortgage?
You want to say something, Robert?
Well, and just to add to that image, the dog on the roof of the houseboat, they'll be going, "Oh, look at that guy with a dog on the roof of his boat,"
I don't have to pay my tax. Who wants to pay their tax? So I can believe in the law. I have the access to the true law. I'm not a lawbreaker, and I avoid those legal consequences I don't want. That's a really beguiling combination. And we get lots of different groups that are doing this. But the sovereign citizen is the one that most people may have heard of before.
That's about 9 times now.
Yep.
John doesn't consider himself a sovereign citizen, but many of his arguments come from their playbook. Last year, he was charged with driving unlicensed, unregistered, uninsured,
Why are they
and with someone else's plates on his car.
People are going to ask, why don't you just get a license?
Okay, so...
You know what I mean?
I read too much law. That's probably why. I just like to question everything and challenge and test. And what I found is that once we start applying the rules like everybody else does, like the barristers and the lawyers do, is that we start to have success.
There is absolutely no legitimacy to any of it. And that has been found by courts at every level and in every state in Australia and at every level and in every country in the world.
Before he was Dean of Law at Southern Cross University, David Heilpern was a magistrate in New South Wales. He remembers when he first encountered sovereign citizen or pseudo-law arguments in his courtroom.
A smattering of people came before me talking.
Has worn a suit to interview this guy. But
he dressed down for the other guy.
To go to the other guy.
what I thought
Wasn't he
was
wearing a
entirely
puffy
different
jacket?
legal language,
Yeah.
which was along the lines of, I am not that person, you must capitalise my name, you have no authority to sit there, you didn't take an oath, I have a right to a trial by jury, and sort of a mishmash of what we now know as sovereign citizen views, theories and approaches.
These groups are no longer an occasional administrative headache for courts. We've confirmed they are now a top concern within the judiciary today. A few weeks after we met John, we join him as he faces the Adelaide Magistrates Court.
John, good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise.
What's your charge?
Well, the charges are minor driving matters, just driving offences. This has been, for me, an investigation to be able to get all the evidence that I needed to show the collusion that's being used against the Australian people from propaganda of name-calling them something, whether it be sovereign citizen, so that they can deny them due process, procedural fairness and natural justice.
I go in to watch. John tries to mount a common law defence that he was breaking the law out of necessity. And as evidence, he presents the declassified AFP briefing on sovereign citizens he showed me earlier. His arguments fail, and he's found guilty on all 5 counts.
How do you feel the judge found you guilty on all 5 counts?
It's a technical process, and this is what I can tell you right now is that people are being disillusioned with. When they see people like me that really try their art out to learn and do everything the right way, and they go, well, if you've got a guy like that that's trying to do it the right way and it doesn't work, we might as well go in there and give them the pseudo-law arguments. As I say in law, you don't win or lose, you win or learn.
John is still waiting to be sentenced.
These are people who feel as though they've lost a lot or are at risk of losing it all.
And many of them are, because once they go down the rabbit hole of sovereign citizenship, you know, they may lose their licence, but they don't care. That doesn't apply to them, so they keep driving. So then it's drive while disqualified. And then they don't stop when the police tell them to stop. And that becomes a police chase. And then, so it just escalates. And the end result for many of them is prison. And they're going to fight that every step of the way.
Judge, are you concerning treason against the King of England?
Threats to judicial officers from pseudo-law adherents are real and rising.
You are now charged, you are under arrest. You are training in necromancy. You are in treason. You are in treason.
This man, Derek Ballog, has a history of intimidating courts. He sells advice to people in expensive online classes, claiming great success in getting people off charges.
Can I get someone to count how many sheriffs are here, because they will all be putting our affidavit to the federal police?
2, 4, 6.
I've got one sheriff's badge number. Can we have every sheriff's
7,
badge?
8.
Judges, including David Heilpern, have been the target of death threats.
Yes, threats against me, threats against lawyers, threats against police. There was a person who regularly appeared before me in a court charged with a whole range of offences, and he had been mounting.
Do you think the threats are like, we'll shoot you with a rubber bullet?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yep. Well, there's plenty of footage of them getting ripped out of cars and assaulted.
Yeah. Or pepper spray you. Is that one of the threats we've put forward?
Sovereign citizen arguments, which I had been dismissing and convicting him. And then he bailed himself up in a house, indicated that he was going to kill anyone who came for him, and kill the judicial officers, not just me, but others who'd been involved in his case. That means increased protection at your homes. Your family have to be alerted. There's increased security measures in the courts. Those things take a toll on you as a judicial officer and as a person, as a parent.
These kinds of threats have the capacity to become violent.
They're saying that their laws and their rules and their orders override the legitimate ones. And that is a step towards what we've seen, which is violence.
The US has seen a cascade of violent incidents involving sovereign citizens, like the shooting of 2 police officers during a traffic stop in Arkansas in 2010.
They're starting to ramp it up now.
There you go.
This is America for starters.
2010. 2010 has
2010.
nothing to do with the freedom movement. What a
Nothing
load
to
of
do with
codswallop.
COVID. Nothing to do with that. Yeah.
Fuck off.
But to be honest, before we go on again, just pause again. Also, this seems to be more of a hit piece on sovereign citizens. It's an actual direct line of attack on sovereign citizens, which doesn't represent freedom community either. They're a small branch, and as we've seen, it's very, there are a lot of people in the freedom movement that think it's a good thing, and there are a lot of people that don't really follow it. There's been a lot of people in our comment sections that aren't really that into it. Time will tell, kind of thing. But I don't personally, at this point, I don't see it as a threat. They're definitely shaping it to seem like it's this out of control cascade of people suddenly doing it, and that they're all being fooled into it. They're really starting to ramp up the effects now on this thing, but they've definitely been very one-sided in how they've presented it so far. They haven't gone and got somebody. That guy, I don't know who he is, and he might be respected amongst
his name
own
is
people.
Mahmood. I think it's someone might have his name here, Mahmood something. But he used to be Mahmood. He used to be with the apparently with the Mongol bikie gang, and now he's a.
Oh wow!
Now
So
he's
they haven't. They haven't. Oh, who? The actual journalist.
Reporter. Yeah. Used to
Oh,
be with
right.
He
was a bikie, or just with them.
Born, I think. Yeah.
I meant the sovereign citizen lawyer guy, who's not actually a sovereign citizen. Like, I'm not sure who he is,
Johnny.
or how how respected he is. But quite frankly, they could have found someone better to explain and describe what's going on. But I think they purposely chose him, and they probably didn't give him much time to prepare for an interview. Whereas I'm assuming they've already had 2 other people that are talking about other things against him, and then they keep flicking back to him, and it's always some moment that's not really anything to do with anything, or him fluffing around looking through paperwork. They haven't actually had a real conversation with him to get any of the real stuff, and they could have found 2 or 3 other ones that I could name off the top of my head that aren't sovereign citizens either, but know a hell of a lot about it.
Yeah.
That would be able to actually give them straight answers, and they haven't found any of those people. So it's definitely a hit piece, and it's shaping up that way.
Yeah.
The thing that that concerns me is that, they keep talking about sovereign citizens, and for most of us and everyone in the audience, we know the different groups, if you like, but to the general public, they opened the piece with footage from the convoy. Most of the general public is now associating, COVID, convoy, sovereign citizens to be all the same people. That's the danger, because we're talking too much sense, right? We actually make sense, and that's the threat that they're afraid of, right? So now, obviously, they've got to lump us all in one group and try to tell the general public that the convoy was over because they found a gun, and we're all violent.
Yeah, that's right. And the convoy wasn't over. That they had epic. I mean, the real big protest was after that. But also, I was just noticing then. I just lost my thought. Sorry. Just pretend I said something profound and nod.
I got a good one. I got a good one to add in, because I've looked up this Mahmood guy, and I'm aghast. I don't understand why they picked this guy, because this is what I just found on him. A producer for YouTube channel Friendly Geordies says he feared for his safety after a Four Corners reporter allegedly passed on threats made by a notorious organised crime family. Christo Lanka, who works with Friendly Geordies creator Jordan Shanks, claims he received the warnings through ABC investigative journalist Mahmoud Faisal. And he's the guy that's the reporter there. So he's a standover man. He's a standover man, and he's doing a hit piece on sovereign citizens. Like, isn't this
maybe he's a gun for hire?
Yeah, well, what they're saying now, that's what I was going to say. What they're saying now, one, we have crazy ideas. Two, we're clogging up the courts and costing a lot of money. Not as much money, I think, as $13 million hatchet machete bins, but we're costing a lot of money. And we're basically, we're going to lose. And because we're going to lose, we're going to get more frustrated. And then we're going to start killing people. So they're basically saying that an army is being born. And eventually they're going to have to shoot us because we'll shoot them otherwise.
Of course.
You know, that's what they're getting across. They're almost justifying any action now that police take against sovereign citizens, because it's like what you said with that narcissist woman you had on. I'm an empath. I knew you were going to have an affair on me, so I had the affair first. This is sort of setting that up in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems like they're promoting the fringes, the far fringes, so the neo-Nazis, and they're promoting the sovereign, like there's different levels of sovereign citizenship as well. But they're definitely promoting the fringes and then wiping the table with violence.
I'm still trying to get over the fact that they got a ex-sergeant of arms from the Mongols to be the reporter, and this guy in his history, when he was a reporter, actually stood over people. He stood over the Friendly Geordies, like sent messages from a crime family to stop doing what you're doing.
Well, do you think, no offense, how did he get the job? Because you imagine trying to apply for a job and on your CV is
Sergeant at Arms.
Bikie.
Well, that's it. I think that might be why he got the job, because people stand up too much, and he wasn't obviously scared to walk in and ask some questions that make people upset. Maybe that's it, or maybe he's a gun for hire.
He's a gun for hire.
Maybe he was dabbling in YouTube journalism, and they were like, "This guy's good."
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Assault on a courthouse in Georgia in 2014.
Once again, way before.
What they're doing, look.
And just last year, 5 shootouts with police, including at 2 traffic stops.
Hey, Patrick.
All America.
This is the last chance.
All America.
Patrick, you've got a felony warrant for your arrest, a bunch of other warrants.
But it looks shocking.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a hit piece, big time.
Yeah, man. This is designed to shock.
Sovereign citizens' interactions with police and also sovereign citizens who've engaged in violence.
Yeah,
15.
Dr. Christine Sarteski is a professor of criminology who's been recording these incidents for years internationally.
I have currently, in terms of the violence database, over 600 cases where they have engaged in violence, and approximately 140 of them are involved in murder cases. There's been I think a notion that sovereigns are rarely violent. I think that I've heard that repeatedly, that they are primarily paper terrorists. And so I wanted to track some of their behavior and crimes to see, is that true? Are they primarily paper terrorists? And while it is still early in the data collection process, it does seem that they do engage in quite a bit of violence activity.
Did you just say terrorists?
Yep.
And it's happened here
there
too.
Is a
rural town west of Brisbane.
Oh yeah, of course. These two.
In late 2022, it was the scene of a deadly shooting and marked a turning point in Australia's understanding of domestic extremism.
He shot Rachel, I believe. I think she's dead. They're coming. They're shooting.
The other two officers.
Fuck. You good? Fuck. I think I'm being shot. Fuck.
2 police officers and a neighbour were murdered in a premeditated ambush by Gareth, Nathaniel and Stacey Train, who adhered to a Christian extremist ideology. The attack bore the hallmarks of sovereign-style paranoia, distrust of state authority, rejection of legal legitimacy, and the
But
belief
wasn't
that
sovereign.
violence was
It just
justified
bore
in
the
resisting
hallmarks.
tyranny. Some of the people we spoke to for this story described the Trains almost like martyrs for the freedom movement.
Bullshit.
Fuck.
After the shooting,
hell.
Queensland Police and ASIO said the Train
Oh.
family were not sovereign citizens. It highlights a problem with trying to divide people into narrow groups when they seem to be part of one common cause. If authorities fail to recognise a broader definition of anti-government extremism, they could miss the true extent of this evolving movement. People that we've spoken to are really trying to distance themselves from the sovereign citizen label.
I have seen that as well, the shift away from the term sovereign citizen, and I think it's primarily because there is a belief among many sovereign citizens that their governments have labeled them as terrorists, and they do not wish to be seen as a terrorist. They don't regard themselves as such.
Is it a rebranding, or do you think it's a genuine shift in their ideology?
I think it's an attempt at a rebrand, but if you listen to what they say, everything is what they've always said.
So everyone's a terrorist, everyone's a sovereign citizen. It doesn't matter now because we're saying we're not. If anyone
Northwest
says I'm not a
Tasmania
sovereign
is a
citizen, then they're
known hotbed
definitely
of
one.
anti-government views.
That's what they're saying.
Here,
It's
people
like
are forcing their
it's like
agendas on local councils.
labeling COVID vaccine injury
And
as
many
a
of the people
COVID
we're
symptom.
speaking
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? It's like you're fucked if you do and you're fucked if you don't. If you say you're a sovereign, then you're a terrorist. But if you say you're not, well, you clearly are, and you're a terrorist. So everybody, let's get the brush out.
Hey, wait, I don't understand this guy's play. Like he's an ex-bike. He's an ex-bike, and I'm like, how did they not think that we were gonna like Sergeant of Arms? That's high up in the Mongols.
That's brutal, man.
How did they not figure out? Like, so Sergeant of Arms, for those that don't know, is the enforcer.
He's the right hand.
He's
the
the
one
right
who
man who
fucks
bashes
shit
people.
up.
Yeah, he's the one who bashes people or takes care of
Collects.
Collect.
Yeah, they're the ones that do
Sergeant
the
of Arms.
dirty work.
Yeah, so
Wow.
they have like an army structure. So the sergeant
You've got to
of
be.
arms, he's the tough guy who
He runs the
enforces-
troops. He runs
he
the troops. He's a sergeant.
He enforces discipline and bashings in the actual in the bikie ranks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's astonishing. And he's the reporter.
He's the
Do
reporter.
you reckon since we're all terrorists, we could get a job there? You know,
Reporting or at Sergeant at Arms.
we have a job.
Mongol.
We want to do a story on constitutionalists.
Well, my question is, how did he leave the Mongols? Because it's not easy to leave the bikies. You got to cut off your tattoos or burn them, and they rip your patch off unless
It's not as
he probably hasn't.
It's not as hard as but Mongols, yes, it is hard. Some bikie clubs, not as hard. Other clubs, Mongols, from what I've heard, it's hard to leave. So that's
Robin,
why.
what are your thoughts so far, Robin? Sorry, Tom. What are your thoughts so far, Robin?
Yeah, I'm just writing down some interesting language and a few different words that they're using. It's interesting that Professor David Heilburn, who said, none of it's legitimate. You know, he was one of the first judges that saw this, you know, sovereign citizen stuff enter his court, and that it's a top concern for the judiciary. You know, my thoughts are, well, you know, if it's all pseudo law and it's illegitimate, then, you know, that's not the judiciary's concern. So what is it? So now they're hamming up the violence and the death threats, you know, and all this sort of stuff, and showing all that footage from America
in
10 years
2010.
before COVID. But I'm just, to your point earlier, Wayne, why did they speak to Johnny? It's interesting because a number of people, a number of people in this report had contacted me a long time ago saying that Four Corners was sniffing around. So Four Corners have been approaching people in nearly every state of Australia for months and months to do this. And I find it...
They got a bunch of fuck you. Someone in the comment section said that Jody Lowe had been hit up and told him that he wasn't interested. So...
Yep. So I'll be interested to see.
Were any of you hit up?
No.
No.
They mustn't be sovereign enough.
They may have hit up Winnie, but she wasn't into it.
Okay, let's go back.
Man is a key figure in implementing the strategy. Shane Allison, known as Kush.
How are you, Kush?
Hey,
Good to meet you.
You
Pleasure.
There we go. Oh, mate.
So this is sort of where it all started. My grandmother lived up there on the corner of Bell's Parade. And
Kush's views range from opposition to wind farms and vaccines to conspiracy theories that politicians traffic children and Jewish bankers control the world. He rejects the term sovereign citizen.
Oh, fuck.
Total oxymoron. Same as conspiracy theorist. And it's just branding people names, you know. You get people, I deal with people that call themselves activists. Well, why do you want to be branded anything?
But there is an umbrella of frustrations that these community members all feel together.
Umbrella's probably a good word rather than a bracket. And yeah, they all feel disjointed, not getting, just being respected for coming in as a community meeting.
Kush believes the best way to challenge the government is with grassroots action in local councils. He's a former councillor himself.
You can enact a lot of changes if you have a fair council and proper debate, and people are voting on their community to start with, and then their region, and then their state, rather than voting for an idealism of a government or an opposition or a party, or what the government's agenda is trying to be pushed.
What about the councillors that say they feel threatened when people come into these council meetings in big numbers?
If you're not answering the questions and you get gaslit while you're in there, yes, people get angry.
That's pretty fair. But that was a kind of a stupid question anyway, if we could pause it again real quickly. He said, what happens when they get... He sort of said, what happens when they all come in and they feel threatened? He didn't say when they get threats, because that's obviously a completely different thing. But if you're in there and you have a bunch of people come in and they're all pissed off because the law is fucking them over, in any way, I mean, all of this just comes... There would be no sovereign citizens if people didn't feel fucking completely deflated, used up and spat out and used and abused by the system. If they weren't just crushed into the dirt and overlooked, and every time they open their mouth, they're called some kind of a different name and then just ignored, people wouldn't go to any measures. And when they all rock up into a courtroom and everyone feels a little bit afraid, fucking good. They should feel afraid. And if you don't like it, fuck off, get a new job, or help change the laws to protect the little guys.
Again, this is a direct. I see, and I'll put money on it. This is going to be the part of the piece talking about councils, because what people have been taking action since October last year in regards to what DNA contamination of the Pfizer and Moderna products, and they don't like people coming into the councils, because councillors, even corporate media, kitty litter papers are reporting on the action in council. So they've now got to make a real burgeoning grassroots movement through the councils be illegitimate as well. I can just see it. I can just see it coming on now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll tell you.
Greater scrutiny of all local council decisions. This campaign is placing a major burden on them. Earlier this year, Kentish Council held a vote on a motion claiming COVID vaccines are contaminated. Cush and his supporters backed it, and it passed 22-12. The mayor told us councils don't have the authority to decide on anything to do with vaccines.
That's what this is about. Yeah. They've got the first bit to make us look like crazy.
Now,
and then this is what it's about.
It's the paintbrush, man.
Behind here going, shut this down, because Adrian McRae has started something that is powerful. They're frightened by this. This is the threat. Yeah.
Yep.
It's that. He believes the people had spoken and organised a protest at a Kentish Council meeting.
And what they say goes, they don't listen to the people at all.
We've got to make it, though, before they shut the back door as well.
Round the back door. Hey, we can't get in the front door. We'll have to go round the back.
Quick, so they don't.
As residents arrive, councillors appear uneasy. Two of the residents turn up despite being banned for what the council
in their
says
80s.
is unacceptable behaviour.
Unacceptable
What do you
behaviour.
think's afraid of? What are they going to do?
Police
Break
are
a hip?
called.
Jesus Christ. Is that a bit of overkill?
Absolutely overkill.
And they're asked to leave.
This is the very person I'm saying I don't want to deal with.
But it's a council meeting. Everyone should be allowed.
Oh, we're
How coincidental is it that the bloody the Four Corners, imagine this, what stroke of luck Four Corners has. They've got the cameras there at this very specific council meeting where two band members, one of which I've interviewed, Robin, she is a grandmother. Anyway. The cameras are there, amazing, and they've got this footage of the cops are. Oh, give me a break! They knew this was going to happen. I mean, hello.
They orchestrated. They didn't just know, it happened on purpose, and they were told be there.
Yeah.
Right.
It was orchestrated together. It wasn't.
It wasn't
that's funny.
coincidence.
No.
Coincidence. Let's go back to suspension. Become the cops.
The police are called.
Police are called.
For what?
And listen to the
They're asked to
music.
leave.
This is the very person
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to deal with.
Please leave.
Let's go.
So they leave.
And
you put menacing music over the top of it.
Andrew, go to your car.
Police statement.
And nothing else happened that night. Crazy. The crowd went
Cush's strategy
mild.
is part of an organised effort spreading across the country. In Victoria, sovereign citizen-linked groups have bombarded local government with so many petitions and protests, they've had to cancel events and ban the public from meetings. In Western Australia,
public.
intense lobbying has pushed more than a dozen cities and rural councils to consider opposing COVID rules. And in New South Wales and Queensland, one group even walked into council and police stations declaring they no longer held any jurisdiction.
I can't get over the fact he's a fucking bikie.
I keep looking at his sleeves. He's always got long sleeves on. I guarantee he's covered in ink.
People who are opposing the law, and he's a
Oh my
Mongols
God.
bikie.
It's insane, isn't it?
What happens with border gate Christians? They always come back as irritating people.
Yeah. Or vegans always end up at Macca's when they get on the piss.
I just want to make something clear. The threats that he made against the friendly Geordies, that wasn't when he was a bikie. That was when he was award-winning ABC reporter Mahmoud Faisal passed on menacing messages from an organised crime gang to journalists, which is the friendly Geordies, one of whom became so fearful he reported to police. Faisal denies any wrongdoing. So he doesn't deny passing on the messages. He just denies that
Show us the picture real quick. You've got a picture loaded up. Let's see it. I just want to see it real quick.
All right.
Can we use it? It's not going to...
Can we do that?
It's not going to change.
Hopefully. I remember where it was anyway.
Go back.
Where
You
the
do
bar was.
remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that him?
There he is. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude. He does that look. See the angry look he's got on the left? He's been doing that when he talks to people. He leans in. He's like, gives them the stink eye.
Is that Asian,
look at that.
Asian faces on his shirt?
It's got what?
Is that a racist shirt? A racist shirt he's wearing? Aren't they Chinese men or are they?
No, that's the Mongols. They're Mongolians. It's the Mongols.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the bikie.
That's their
Mongols. So that's their logo because they're after the
Mongolia.
Genghis Khan, who tried to take over the world.
Yeah, well, it's funny. He doesn't look very Mongolish to me. He might look something else. Anyway.
I think he's born in Pakistan. Anyway, let's go.
Well, now he's just
hopefully
being a bully for Four Corners.
Oh, sweet. It picked it up where it left off. We're all good.
I need you to get into your car and leave the property. Let's go to your car. Andrew, go to your car.
Well, this has been fun so far.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of word salad.
Yeah.
Pushing strategy is part of an organised effort spreading across the country. In Victoria, sovereign citizen-linked groups have bombarded local government with so many petitions and protests, they've had to cancel events and ban the public from meetings. In Western Australia, intense lobbying has pushed more than a dozen cities and rural councils to consider opposing COVID rules. And in New South Wales and Queensland...
Maybe he's work from home Mongol now.
I saw that comment.
Intense. What did he say? Intense something against the councils has seen all these councils oppose the COVID thing. Yep. Why is it? We're not bullying them into opposing. These councillors are voting and saying, "Yeah, we want to question what's happening."
What's actually going on?
This is a bikie telling us that by approaching councils and getting them...
Sorry, I can't take this serious anymore. I got a bikie, a reporter who's been threatening and standing over people and going, sovereign citizens, they're a threat to our democracy.
This man is telling us off for bombarding. I have to say, a Muslim is there telling us that we are bombarding instead of the councils. And then Ted's, come on. We approached the councils the proper way. Robin, why don't you tell us what they did? You know it better than anyone. Fill us in on what that council thing is.
Oh, so it started on the 11th of October 2024 when Councillor Adrian McRae and another one of his very brave fellow councillors, they had a special meeting of council in Port Headland in the north of Western Australia, presented some motions about the DNA contamination of the Pfizer and Moderna products based on data from Dr. David Speaker. Also, the councillors were there behind closed doors to watch a presentation from Dr. Dalgleish, and he's on record saying, it's the greatest crime of the century. So all of the councillors voted in the special meeting, and they had the majority councillors vote to alert all councils around Australia of the DNA contamination, alert all of the medical practitioners and pharmacies in Port Hedland Council of the DNA contamination. There was also other parts to the motion, and all of that was with the support of many doctors, lawyers, politicians such as the Honourable Russell Broadbent and his letters to the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, about the DNA contamination. And so from there, people within their own councils did similar motions, either at electors' meetings or special electors' meetings, and then the councillors themselves vote on that to do whatever as part of their motion, informing people about the DNA contamination, writing to the Prime Minister, so on and so forth. And it's really grown across Australia, and they're worried about it because people are getting involved within their local government, and lo and behold, they're having an effect. And it is legitimate. Nobody's threatening anybody. That's just
Isn't that how local governments and councils are supposed to work? When something's happening and it's been an oversight and people bring it to attention and nobody really listens or does anything, then everybody starts saying, hey, listen to us. This is something that we don't fucking want and we don't want to stand for. And then they're supposed to say, okay, well, we are selected and elected by you to represent the people, and we will look into this and change it. That's how it works, isn't it? Isn't that democracy?
Well, see, they can't change that
word on here, Jason.
system, can they?
So
they can't change. They can't change that system because it is, all of our rights to go into the council, and present motions like that or present petitions, so on and so forth. So, how are they going to put a dampener on it? How are they going to make it illegitimate, so on and so forth? They've got to misrepresent people taking interest in local government regarding matters that are detrimental to our population. So they've got to make it look like we're a bunch of threatening extremists.
And you'll be ostracized if you jump in with people like that.
Yeah.
If you decide that you agree with any of their views, you'll be painted with that same brush and you'll become one of them, and you don't want that, do you?
Yeah,
yeah, no,
they might even paint you out to be a bikie.
I was watching you laugh, Tom, so I don't know what you're watching. But the thing is, we must be over the target with the council, and that's why they're doing the piece. The first bit was to make it look like these people are idiots and time wasters, and then they've hidden the bomb here, and this is what they're trying to attack. So obviously, Adrian's having a huge, profound effect with what he's doing, and this is why they've done this. That's what I'd say.
I'm sorry. I was laughing, Robin, when it was really serious.
Here he is.
There he is. That's his website. But have you guys seen The Shining?
Yes.
What does that say? The brutality of what? Fact.
Of fact. The Shining. Oh my! The Shining. We'll get sued.
He's got an axe. He's got an axe.
Ross, he's a standover journalist. It's a new breed. It's like, listen to my propaganda or I'll fucking bash
That's
you.
why I was laughing. He looks like Jack Nicholson out of The Shining. It's like, don't fuck with me.
Here's Johnny.
No, here's Mahmoud.
Yeah. Here's
council
Lummy.
and police
Let's go.
stations declaring they no longer held any jurisdiction.
I can't watch him anymore.
I can't watch anymore, just idiot.
Oh man, I need
They
a
must
drink.
have to Robert or Colin. Who
In
are they
Western
going
Australia, I've come to meet a group that takes commitment to people power to a new level.
I'm on board. How are you? I'm Alan. How are you?
You
The
know them,
Sovereign
Robert?
People's Assembly of Western Australia is a self-declared common law group.
Yeah, I've been
that
to a
is-
couple of them. Yeah, I was just I know all of them. They're my friends.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's
set up
getting
its own
personal
court.
now.
It's even appointed its own common law sheriffs to enforce their judgments.
Terrifying old man.
It always shows them setting stuff up because it makes them seem like less professional, even though that's very professional stuff. But you know what I mean? Instead, like if that was the other guys, everything's already set up and it's already to go and it looks professional. But it always shows the people they want to shine. It throws when you're a casual watcher, it'll throw you off when you see people putting together like banners like that. It's like the same reason the band never comes out until the curtains open and the show starts. You don't want to see the band set, like if it's a big band, you never see the band setting up the instruments because it ruins it. It makes them seem like normal people.
100%.
So that they're
point.
showing this on purpose. It's psychology throughout this entire thing.
Yeah, 100%. Beautifully put.
First time, they've agreed to speak to the mainstream media.
It's full time for some of us, all day, every day, 7 days a week, fielding lots of phone calls, lots of emails, queries from all over Australia, all over the world now as well.
This is from the Federal Court of Australia. They're breaking their own rules. So that's why people are coming to us, because they want remedy.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This common law court is now in session.
Stop.
They held their first common law court case in 2020.
I want people to look at the watermark on the bottom right-hand corner. This is Max Freedom's footage. You can see me. I'm in the audience. That doesn't matter. This is Max Freedom's footage, everybody.
Yeah.
So just put it out there. I don't think they'll put Max Freedom in the credits for video footage, will they?
Okay, so they've copyrighted his stuff, which allows us to copyright their stuff.
But they will. They'll copyright us. But obviously, we got.
Well, we've
yeah,
got to
they
think
will
that
say
they've
this is
copyrighted. You've got to take it down because this is our stuff. This is Max Freedom. You're not
I think
allowed to
they
use
will
that
just
material.
go, we've only used so much and it's for educational purposes.
Fair use.
Well, that's what we're
But we
doing.
can't do it.
We're educating ourselves. We're learning how
That's
bad
why we
people
should be
are.
doing, we should be
Hello,
allowed
Max
to do what
is in
they're
the
doing.
comments. Yes, Max. Hello. I saw. I know it's your footage.
Hey,
I was
Richie.
there.
Hey, Richie. Congratulations, man.
You should ask for money.
Yeah, man. Excellent work. For everyone who don't know, Richie is incredible. Probably the best videographer we have.
22. On trial were the people who imposed the mandates during COVID.
Has the jury reached a verdict on all charges?
Yes.
Their jury finds the then Prime Minister Scott Morrison and all the state premiers guilty of multiple crimes.
On the charge of violation of the Nuremberg Code, how does the jury find the defendants?
Guilty.
On the charge of genocide?
Guilty.
On the charge of human trafficking?
Guilty on the charges of human trafficking. After a really good lengthy discussion, the jury have agreed that with all the defendants on the charges of fraud, the remedy will start off with a minimum of 30 years for each defendant.
Duly noted. The people have decided. And that is it.
I'm keen to ask the adjudicator, Alan, about the court cases.
When the common law sheriffs sentence someone like the Prime Minister, is that just symbolic? Is it just for attention, or are you serious? Are you seriously sentencing them?
Well, they've come before a jury, and it is serious, yes. Yes, they've committed crimes. If you look at the recent COVID week, one of our first major cases that we had was in a common law court with a full jury. And we heard the evidence as set out. There's no judges or magistrates in there. There's just an adjudicator and the witnesses. Yes, when they're found guilty, they are found guilty of a charge, and they could get a jail sentence or a fine. But once again, we can't impose that at this stage because the police won't recognise our court orders. The only tools we have is psychological.
And you don't have jails.
Sorry? And jails. Well, jails is another thing. I'm not going to, I don't think we can lock them up in our back garden somewhere. But on these people, it's a psychological message to them. And they play games with the people, basically.
I care about you.
2 of their common law sheriffs were recently jailed for contempt of court. They're still rattled by the case. The sentencing judge described the group's ideology as extremely dangerous, adding that dangerous ideas breed dangerous people.
You've had 2 of your members wind up in jail.
Do you think they had to send him because...
I should have warned you.
They had to send him because all the other porters were afraid of these grandmothers and grandfathers, sovereign citizens.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was the only one brave enough to go.
Fucking hell, man. I wasn't ready for that. For those, can we just quickly recap for those, because we've got quite a few people streaming, and a lot of people have jumped on late and didn't hear the beginning. So at the very start of the show today was just it's not an ongoing thing. It's just Four Corners did a bit of a hit piece on what some would say the freedom movement in general. It seems to be more the sovereign citizen movement, but it seems to be them painting a brush on everybody that doesn't agree with what's going on. But with the government. But Michael wanted us to watch because none of us had seen it, but a lot of people were talking about it. And Michael had an idea to get us all together live and watch it together. And we were sort of hopeful at the very beginning. Even Tom said, "Oh, I'm really hopeful this was going to turn out to be, even debate." I can't believe that you actually thought that, Tom. So it's really just turned into a bit of a machete bin at this point, and
a machete bin fire.
It's a machete bin fire.
It gets even worse. I found this on the internet. Someone went to the Geelong cop station to check out the machete bin. It's not even ready. It's still. It's not even ready.
They will unveil it at some point. Oh my god!
I want to. It's going to be a black tie event.
Do you reckon that they've looked at it and gone, "That's not $350,000 worth"? Get the boys back to give it another. The tarp was at least 80 grand.
80 grand.
That's Kevlar. That's machete-proof cloth. What happens when somebody tries to put a machete in that bin and it's not ready yet? They need to be able to not poke holes in it. All these poor machete-wielding fools. They'll just have to come back next week.
All right, let's keep going.
Let's continue. We've digressed. But anyway, that's what we're doing, everybody.
Devastating.
We're watching it
Absolutely
for the first time.
devastating.
In the conversations I'm having, people keep raising their fears about being disarmed. It seems fueled by police revoking gun licenses from people with sovereign citizen beliefs. They fear the police want to disarm the people so they can control them.
Who's got all the guns? And it's no time in history has a population been disarmed, has there not been genocide? And this is what they're doing here now. And I mean, you know, talk about conspiracy. When we have all this information and we're presented to the authorities, I mean, we've asked for an audience with the commissioners, we've asked for an audience with politicians. They won't answer questions because they can't.
Then, Alan makes a call for more guns.
I know that, you know, as far as having a population that is sensible and armed and educated is a good deterrent to not only its own government from enforcing things, but any foreign entity that wants to come into this country and, like the United States, they think about you've got a ready-made army sitting there ready to go that could potentially be difficult for an invader.
So, Leith, how long have you been involved in this?
After speaking with several members, it's clear Crown Leith Masters is the spiritual guru of the Sovereign People's Assembly of Western Australia.
Leith, are you a sovereign citizen?
I am a sovereign citizen, and everyone is a sovereign citizen. And that is worth knowing about, because the media love to put it out there as a spin that sovereign citizen is some kind of cult, something to be frightened of, or some radical movement. It is not that at all. It is simply the architecture between law and legal. So if we look at our diagram, the sovereign lives here in the living, in law, evidenced by the breath. That is the ultimate evidence of living breath.
What is the Great Awakening?
It is the movement out of one age of 2,000 years called the Age of Pisces, where we were in guardianship, into the new age, the Age of Aquarius, which is a time of humanitarianism, where we are totally poised to ensure that all of humanity is looked after equitably.
They picked her on purpose.
That is the Great Awakening.
That sounds...
They picked those questions on purpose.
Interesting.
Too.
It's interesting that they didn't let her finish what she was saying about the other one. They moved straight to this.
Yeah,
what does it
where
mean?
they moved straight into the Aquarius, like the astrology stuff, so that immediately you'll dismiss it. But she had all that information that they could have gone through on that banner, and that would have pricked some ears. But no, they would rather talk about the astrology side of it.
Does anyone know her?
She was the spiritual guru, he called her.
She seems like a
I think
planet.
I might have met her before. She looks familiar to me.
No. She's legit. That's Leith. People can go along to my Rumble channel, Courage as a Cure. I interviewed her. It was actually a very popular interview.
Wow.
She's a wealth of knowledge. Leith. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I think they picked their questions very carefully.
Out of a legal system where we've been put into guardianship, where we can't be seen and we can't be heard, and then we move back into law where we are seen and we are heard, and all of the industries that have been created by the use of our resources, including the government, which is our public servant. It loves to put the word authority on all of its and on the end of all of its departments. It's not the authority, it's the public servant. We're the authority, the people are the authority working in law.
Do you have trust in any mainstream institutions like hospitals, schools, or the health system?
Yeah, absolutely. But we have to recognise that what has been happened, now this is a key factor, in that all of those institutions are managed by our inherent right to resources, which are stored in what is called Sesta KV trusts. Now, Sesta KV Trust is something that means we will look after your resources whilst you are lost. And where we are lost is in the Holy See. And why in the Holy See? Because this is all Vatican constructs. We've been under the guardianship of the Vatican. So whilst we're lost, allegedly, they get to monetize our energy and the planet through things like the birth certificate and modes of currency, like the US dollar, for example.
Look, go back and look.
Things like the birth certificate and
so long.
modes
Did he have
of
an axe?
currency, like the US dollar, for example.
He's just like,
you keep reading off that script.
You are fucking insane.
Yeah. Where's the money?
That's the where I want the fucking money now. Go and get it. That's that look. That's that long. I want the fucking money.
Here we go.
Now.
Here we go. Just that.
Not on my watch. I wish.
I'm sorry, Mahmood. I'm sorry, man. You see yourself up for this, brother.
Yep.
All right,
I'm sure he's a good dude to get on the piss with.
When the Assembly's court or grand jury makes a judgment, it falls to the sheriffs to serve these orders to the parties. Today, they're serving the Western Australian Land Titles Office, Landgate, with documents relating to mortgages held by farmers.
How often do you go about serving people?
We've been doing a lot of serving this year. We've put together what we call bundles, which are bundles of documents which have been written by Crown Executive orders and all the grand jury orders which are applicable to, in this case, or Donna can explain about the
farmers we've got.
Yeah.
Brought evidence to the grand jury. We've had up to 40 or 50 jurors vote unanimously on these orders around Australia. Yeah.
And what outcomes do you hope to achieve?
Farmers get their farms back.
Good girl.
Yeah, good on you.
So what happened?
The assistant to the registrar come down and spoke to us for a while, and they are going to lodge the documents, not put them on the title, which we would like, but yeah, just taking them and accepting them and having them lodged and put on file, I think is a good win. Yeah.
This is happening all over the country?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
The sheriffs we are the guardians of the law. We are always coming in peace. We are always in peace.
So how
Wait
do you feel
on, guys.
labelled?
Wait on. Watch this. I will not be silenced. You are dead to me. I'm starting my own podcast. Fuck you guys. You have made a very powerful enemy. You, mate. Are you a sovereign citizen?
He's bombarding us. Someone photoshopped PJ's head on axe wielder. Oh, come on, Pete.
Because, that label comes from somewhere, like it is.
FBI in America.
Yeah, but they do that because there have been radical instances where violence has occurred.
Well, it's just what we call the spin. It's like the sovereign citizen. It's out there to try and discredit us, but at the end of the day, law is the superior jurisdiction, and that is going to win out eventually.
We asked Landgate about the documents they received. They said they found no legal merit in the 200-odd pages and don't intend to take any further action at this time.
Where's that? Jervis Bay.
Looks nice, actually.
For some on the receiving end of pseudo-law judgments, the harm can feel very real.
How are you? Pleasure to meet you. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Scott Murren lives in a state of constant readiness.
Look at that.
He believes there's a risk he could lose his children to a sovereign citizen group.
Oh, fuck off.
I've had letters sent demanding I hand the children over.
The boy's mother became a sovereign citizen during COVID.
I had one letter sent to say that I had to.
So it's a fucking
take my
family
children
dispute.
to a rural, isolated rural property somewhere in Gympie, I think in Queensland, and hand them over and face a law court up there, in which I was looking at life in prison and hard labour. I don't know how they're going to make that happen. I've had threats that their law enforcement officers, spelt LORE, or their sheriffs,
would come and take the kids and return them to their mother.
In 2021, Scott's ex took the boys to a protest in Canberra where the old Parliament House doors were set on fire.
It was sickening to see 2 young boys at the front doors of Old Parliament House. You know, kids shouldn't be present at any of that.
What kind of steps have you taken to protect your kids?
Lots. I've got friends that regularly patrol past our house day and night. Of any suspicious vehicles or persons around, I'm made aware pretty quickly. I've installed CCTV cameras. I've had to put trackers on my youngest son. So the 2 dots there show the boys still at school. I'll get a phone call from Tyler at the moment he gets on the bus or just before. Once I know they're on the bus, I'll track them all the way until I get here. It's generally about 15, 20 minutes.
Actually, this is a good point from Joanna. That was an Aboriginal.
That wasn't. I was going to say that it was an Aboriginal protest. It wasn't a sovereign
project.
citizen.
Nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
I need your most senior on duty.
Scott's ex is Helen Delaney. A video of her being stopped by police in her car went viral in 2023.
You don't have any jurisdiction on this land. Look out. You're under arrest. You're a freak. Yep. Man, I would love to just get you one-on-one.
I'd just love to get you one-on-one.
Last year, Helen was arrested for breaching an AVO and stalking.
You will be personally, privately, and civilly liable. Do you understand that? I have a private link schedule here, and you're trafficking me. And you'll understand that you're under arrest. Impersonating. No, I'm not under arrest. You're kidnapping me. All right. And I'm telling you, I'm not in your jurisdiction. Okay. You're foreign to me.
She spent several months in jail. It provided only a brief reprieve for Scott from the group's activities.
This term keeps coming up, paper terrorism. What does it mean in your experience?
In my experience, once they get hold of your home address, your email, they bombard you. Some of the emails can be 50 pages long. It's gobbledygook, nonsense to me, but it's constant. You get that. If a police officer's involved in the case and they manage to get his email, then he'll get the same. It happened to my lawyers. It happened to all of the judges and registrars in the federal court that were involved in our case. And it's relentless. It doesn't stop. Yeah.
And we're to take his word for it that it's them. Like like there's just the source is trust me, bro. It's definitely them sending stuff. And they're all part of the main network. They're not some random wannabes that have no idea what they're doing.
I'm Mahmood. Pleasure to meet you.
It's just all trust me, bro.
So tell me about this.
It's just our little koi pond.
Why koi?
Just the colours on them, I guess, and they're sort of peaceful to be around and watch and stuff.
Scott's son Tyler has had to find ways to cope with what's happened.
Does it help you kind of de-stress or decompress?
Definitely, yeah. Just to come out here for that, even just the 10 minutes and feed them and take in their surroundings and movements and stuff. Because they're a freshwater fish, they have no predatory species.
This growing wave of anger aimed at our institutions is quietly spreading in communities across Australia. The broad ideologies of these groups are hard to classify, making it difficult for the authorities to measure their true impact. As these groups grow increasingly frustrated by a system they feel alienated from, and as their tactics against councils and courts fail, the risk of violence increases.
The risk of violence increases.
There it is.
Did you hear the music too?
The risk of violence increases. that grandmother could come down on you, and she's not going to put cream on your scone. You'll just get damn.
Is that why
Once you start feeling angry,
Ben Fordham was? Did you hear Ben Fordham talking to Beck Freedom, and all he kept talking about was, you know, you're spouting violence, you're encouraging violence, you're inciting violence. You know. I thought that was okay, do it once or twice. Beck apologized for it. I'm not supporting anything or whatever. I'm just saying Ben couldn't let it go, you know, like a typical corporate media prostitute. He kept saying it. Violence, you know. Is this
Well,
is
it's to
this
get it in your head.
connection?
It's not a fluke.
He's such a nice bikie terrorist.
The method to remember somebody's name, if you're terrible at remembering names, is to say it 3 or 4 times in a sentence.
Yes.
And when you hear the name enough times, you will remember it forever. They say it over and over and over because that's what they want you to associate it with. Whenever someone talks about anything, they don't want nuance. They want it to be the first thing you think is violence. Unsafe. This whole thing, like the music in the background then had a clock tick-tocking in the background very, very subtly, as well as the ominous, eerie music. And that crept in. They faded that into it so you didn't notice it immediately. But there was a little go on. Like, oh, we're running out of time. Here they come. They're all coming. And then it did a little montage of everyone they talked to. And it's just fucking pathetic.
We're almost near the end. Let's keep going. It's very few minutes.
Pick and choose which laws we obey. Well, I'm going to keep some guns in the back garden. I'm going to start making
frustrated by.
Just want to get to where we were.
This growing wave of anger aimed at our institutions is quietly spreading in communities across Australia. The broad ideologies of these groups are hard to classify, making it difficult for the authorities to measure their true impact. As these groups grow increasingly frustrated by a system they feel alienated from, and as their tactics against councils and courts fail, the risk of violence increases.
Once you start feeling angry and you start saying we can pick and choose which laws we obey, well, I'm going to keep some guns in the back garden. I'm going to start making threats to people. Why would I obey those sort of laws? And so we get some really dangerous threats. We have seen violence. Internationally, we've seen murders. He's just the Reichsbürger movement in Germany tried to mount a coup. They tried to overthrow the government.
He's just like really coming up with what ifs. And then what? Maybe guns in the back garden. Maybe there'll be bodies. Who knows? Yeah. These guys are all crazy. He's just making shit up. And they're
have to be
spouting as if it's real.
Yeah, that's right.
Really careful about this.
Are we dealing with ideology here, or is it something closer to faith?
Myself, I think it really is akin to a cult.
I mean, to be honest, I don't want to put
internationally, we've seen murders. We've seen,
but he just looked like someone who'd have an anxiety attack if his cafe didn't have oat milk. You know.
Yeah.
Reichsbürger movement in Germany tried to mount a coup. They tried to overthrow the government. Like, this is really violent. So we have to be really careful about this.
Are we dealing with ideology here, or is it something closer to faith?
Myself, I think it really is akin to a cult. It's a complete
I knew it. That's my bingo card.
Exception
and
for
the cult. We did it.
Here we go. Let's at the end.
Cult.
Now let me just say before we finish, here's the rule of a cult. If you're in a cult, you can't ask questions. And all we've done for 5 years is go, what's in it? What's in it? What's in the jab? We just want to know. So
let's
we're
talk.
Not a cult,
Answer our questions.
Yeah. If you don't ask questions, then maybe, if you could ask a question, you could ask yourself, am I in a cult? Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to ask that. But anyway, let's finish. It's about
in society accept.
And once people go down that rabbit hole, it seems very, very hard for them to get out.
So scary.
That's it.
Oh God! They finished it off with the Colt. That was the big, the
Colt.
Overhead
It's
bang.
a Colt. In case you didn't get what we were trying to tell you in the subtext.
in our entire editing,
Clear my
in the
throat.
music.
Colt.
Colt.
So I just want to say as well that remember when Friendly Geordies got firebombed? Apparently that was him reporting on the Alameddin crime family. And guess who Mahmoud was passing on messages for? The Alameddin crime family. So that's
he did get firebombed.
And then he got firebombed.
Well, he should have listened to old Moody, the bloody shooty, the mouth shooty Moody. He's going to come around and kick
Moody
my door
was just
in.
trying to help out. He was trying to warn him. He's just
Yeah,
trying to help.
As Joanna said, you know, he's a nice bikie terrorist.
He's such a lovely bikie terrorist. He looked aggressive the entire time. He was stink-eyeing the entire time. I must wonder. He just looked like he's like, well, I'm going to ask some questions, and if I don't like the answers, you may get slapped. Okay, roll. Hey, now,
I want to find PJ. PJ was saying stuff. What is he?
Oh, PJ has been mouthing off about starting an OnlyFans. There's going to be blackjack and hookers, and none of us are invited. He said he's raiding a machete bin. Currently raiding a machete bin because he's going to fuck us up. He's obviously not happy he didn't get an invite.
No, PJ. Look, George wanted to come on. A few others want to come on, but 4 is too much. 4 is enough. You get 5 on here, it's too many. Yeah.
We and you still made it on anyway, mate. That's why we love you. Look, there's a lot of people asking for the intro in the comment section as well, because if you haven't ever tuned into our What the Fuck show, the intro has become a bit of a running joke that it doesn't even get played until about an hour and a half into the show these days. But the reason is people tune in late and then they're like, yes, I haven't missed the intro. So we just kept pushing it and pushing it. It's almost the outro.
I'm surprised nobody's asked for an "Is this racist?"
I just want to congratulate everyone from outside that was on, from Johnny Q to all the others. That I thought they handled themselves really well. Obviously, they must have known that they were going to get done. That they were trying their best. They seemed a bit guarded. They knew this guy was going to do a hit piece. And so I thought they handled themselves incredibly well, you know? Yeah.
The ladies in the sovereign sheriffs and that when they were serving the papers in the court and that, they were a little bit ambushed as well. Like you could see that if they'd sat down and put them in a nice, comfortable environment and actually had a conversation and then started rolling the cameras when they were ready, they would have been able to formulate a lot more. But you can tell that they were walking in and the boys all ran up and with cameras and just went bang. And a lot of people aren't used to that sort of high-powered focus just suddenly on you. So many people I know, the moment there's a camera on, they freeze up and they can't articulate as well as they usually can when it's not such a bright, sudden ambush. And I think that was on purpose too. They chose a lot of their footage, the bits that they showed, and then it would pan away and do like a little cinematic down in the grass moment where he's like, well, what he's telling me is this. And it's like, why didn't you just show us him telling you that? Yeah, why did you have to pan away into a cinematic moment where you then tell us what happened and we don't know? So
world's greatest dad. How many dads have got those sort of things anyway? Why didn't they show that for all the other people?
Why didn't they ask the kids about the mum? Like all that bullshit, and then they could have said, what's going on with mum? Oh, how do you feel about your mum? Is she all right? Or, I mean, it probably would have been pretty rough to ask him, to be honest.
Well,
but at the end of the day...
Can I just say, Wayne, I get people on who want to do stories that their ex has the kids, either way, man or woman, and I don't do those stories because I say I can't do those stories unless the opposite side can also have a say.
Yes,
Because
good on you.
if you just get
Yeah.
one person on who's talking about a domestic, they're just going to make themselves the victim and the other person the perpetrator, either side. So you don't get them on, and that's what happened there. All they showed was the woman getting arrested. They did not allow her the courtesy of having her say when it comes to her children. They just portrayed her as a nut job. You know, that is not good journalism.
No.
No.
Can I just say
no? Absolutely.
Adam just
neither-
goes, the goldfish was the best part. Oh, did you notice that? Oh, why do you like koi so much? Oh, because they're colourful. It's like,
What's the point that whole section?
What's the point of that?
meanwhile,
Like,
he's like,
oh, you like goldfish? There must be something wrong with you. That's the way it came
I'm
across.
about
I'm
to
like,
pull my axe out.
who doesn't like goldfish? Like, what the fuck was the point of that? Like, oh my god, you've got.
It was to drum up sympathy for the kids. Oh, look, the kids are lovely. Mum's being a lunatic. Dad's a bloody good dad, and he's got friends that patrol at all times of the night. If I'll be honest, man, if my kids were being threatened by anyone at all, I wouldn't need friends driving past, for starters. And if it was something that I couldn't handle myself, I wouldn't be living there. I would move to somewhere where they didn't know, and I would be safe, and my kids would be safe, and I wouldn't need to track them and freak out about everything all day. I would just handle it. Like, I don't know, maybe he's not in a position to do that. I would make that happen.
Well, the kid didn't seem that traumatized, did he? He liked
No.
his fish. Robin, did you have something you want to say?
Just about, really great journalism. You're pointing out there, Michael, that you don't do those family interviews unless both parties are there. Well, Four Corners, I can say that to at least one of the people that was interviewed there, Four Corners presented this idea of this piece, let's call it that, and the motivation from Four Corners was that they wanted to unite the freedom movement and bring people together. So, they were telling porkies to people from the get-go
Really?
to try to interview people. So, I mean, what else do you expect, to be honest? Quickly, I just want to point on two things. So two things run concurrently throughout this: muddying the water and a complete lack of detail, especially when they're talking to the sheriffs. When Alan was talking about guns and having guns, and then Mahmoot, said, or whatever his name is, said, and now he's calling for more guns. No, the detail you left out. What is his name? So I don't keep calling him Mahmoot.
Just call him Mut.
Mut.
Just call him Mut.
The very important details you left out there, Mamut, that you should have been telling the rest of Australia, is that Western Australia is having legitimate gun owners are having their guns taken off them at the moment. And
they
Western
are.
Australians are very upset about it. And unless people are interested and pay attention, nobody across the rest of Australia knows that. So that lack of detail and muddying the water about calling for guns was a pretty slimy trick there, Mahmood. And the other thing I'd like to point out, when Mandy was going to Landgate to serve those documents for the farmers, that's actually a legitimate situation where Mr. Rod Cullerton and also Greg, who was with Mandy that day at Landgate, have been working really hard to get farmers back on their land, which has been stolen from them. So also muddying the water, lack of detail, another slimy
they didn't talk about any of the stuff that they were actually doing. He could have dived into the actual subject and said, well, tell me more about these, because they said we're getting farmers back. And she was sitting there waiting for him to ask about it. And he just went, cool. Yeah. I wonder, have you got any goldfish?
I know, she probably did. That's just been come out. I want to give the dad joke of the night award to Alex. Four Corners is too square for me. That's a funny geometric joke.
I like someone called him Katut instead of Mahmoud.
He's thinking outside of the box.
You're hot like sunrise, Rhonda. And then Robin called him Mahmoud. Don't call him the Mahmoud. Stop it.
What's that ad? You know,
Yo,
from
motherfuckers need Jesus. Oh man, that was good. This has actually been fun.
So anyway, yeah, mudding the waters and complete lack of detail, and relying on that to
Yep.
you know, just confuse the general public, and we're all just a bunch of people who are trying to, you know, use what do they call
Get out
it?
of paying tax and mortgage is basically what he said at the start. Anyone would want that, wouldn't you? That was that weird weasel guy with the coffee. And the other thing that he was saying at the end, he's like, oh, and these people are pushing for, like, you know, overthrowing the government and coups. It's like, oh, so has there never been a government in the world that's doing the wrong thing and the people literally had to stand up and throw them out and then everything got better? It has happened. It will happen again. And it's happened a lot.
I love hanging out with the cult. Thanks, everyone. Well, that's our new joke for the bee. People go, what's the bee? I go, it's my God. That's the joke we're doing. It's simple, but I find it funny.
I like it.
You should get Mahmoud.
I've got it at the end of interviews now. I go,
Sultan. Yeah, have it sign out with static and it's a cunt.
So, what do you think's going to happen next? You reckon they're going to do another hit piece? You reckon 60 Minutes is going to go, hey, we can get in on this? Or do you think it's ABC, so maybe only, you know, less people watched it than are watching us tonight?
No,
So,
I know exactly what they'll do. They'll get that stupid show Insiders where they sit around and pretend that they're podcasters, right? Getting the podcasting vibe. Have you seen it?
Oh, yes.
And then they'll do what we're doing here. But they'll do it after the 31st of August, you know, try and get those little bits of footage and a couple of sound bites. And then they'll all get on a podcast and talk about how unsafe the rest of Australia is, you know.
How racist everybody is and how white supremacy is
terrified of
taking
these
over.
grandmothers and grandfathers who are trying to.
But can I say, Robin, that was a great because I watched that whole thing that you did on the e-safety, Karen. But I'm like, what is going on? And then you pointed it because I'm like, why has she's not in a podcast? She's wasn't she in the room with the guy?
Yeah.
And what they were doing,
yeah, she's got headphones on, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're going for the it's the demographic, man. They're appealing to the younger generation who are into podcasts and fucking streamers, bro. Man, I'll tell you right now.
If you understand the podcast way things work, it's because you're in Queensland, you're in WA, we're all in different rooms. That's why we're doing a podcast, but you don't do it in a room. Like,
Tom, it's psychology. Person. It's psychology. I've been belting on about it all night, but I see it so often because I'm tuned into it, and I notice the psychology so often. But it would be silly for us to think that people wouldn't use psychology tricks on people in the media on the daily basis, in every facet. From music and background sounds and little hidden little moments, and even the way they choose to flick cutscenes and the way they do things and they pan away. And the reason I think maybe I notice it so much is in music and entertainment, you use those things to catch people's attention to hopefully sell a product. So it is very easy once you understand how they work. It's very easy to see it when once you've seen the magician how he does the trick, you'll never see the trick the same again. I see it in everything, and I mean, you look at movies and the scoring, they're going to do things that'll change your emotions. Once you're emotional, you are being controlled, because if your emotions are in someone else's hands, then they can change how you feel about a certain situation. And it's all about public perception. If everybody is hearing about these people running around and fighting the system and potentially winning, and this and that, then other people are going to want to understand more. They're going to ask questions and they're going to learn. If they suddenly feel that you will become the enemy of the state, you will become ostracized by those around you that your friends or that love you, or you'll be fired from work, or you will be ousted from your community, then you would be more inclined to want to believe the worst whenever you hear it. You'd be like, oh, those guys again. I've heard of them bombarding this and that. They say keywords on purpose. Everything is on purpose. It's a great, big, huge sideshow, neon distraction.
Yeah. So do you think it was balanced, or do you think it was a hit job? I'll start with Tom.
It's a hit job, big time. But I think the joke is on them, because if this fucking goes viral and then people find out that this guy is an ex-sergeant of arms, it doesn't matter if he's a Walkley Award winner. He's basically he's not even was.
It's hypocritical.
I think
at best.
It's hypocritical. He's saying, we need to listen to the government, and this goes back to like our bikies like getting paid by the government, and he's passed messages to the friendly Geordies to fucking get them to back off, and then they get firebombed. Well, he did that. I don't think he even did that allegedly. It's like, the other thing that I think has backfired in this for me, because he's talking about that the soy boy guy that you mentioned, the one that go nuts if there wasn't fucking oat milk in the cafe.
The most aggressive he's ever been.
He goes, oh, next thing, they don't want to, they don't want to pay taxes. I'm like, no fucking joke. We don't want to pay taxes anymore, and that's the average Australian now, because you're fucking spending it on fucking machete bins that cost as much as a Ferrari, and then you want us to believe like this is a good thing. And even better, we will make sure these machete bins will not get stolen, so we'll put them at the cop shop. And I believe they have had
surround them with
hand-in.
CCTV.
Yeah, zero.
CCTV.
They've had zero. $13 million for not one single fucking machete. You think the government
They're scratching their head. Why is it not
$1 million,
working?
run down to Bunnings, buy a load of machetes, and just shove them in the bins?
They can't even be bothered covering up by doing that. Like, you think they'd get some paid actors to at least throw some props in there?
That's what I'm saying.
No, they can't be. But this is how blatant they are, spending and throwing away that money, that even with the high-powered profile spotlights on Victoria right now in regards to the machete shit, even with all the cameras in Australia and the world watching Victoria right now, they're still going, 350,000. Is that too much? No, just do it. Bus, and then they throw it through, and it's like, are you aware? It's like my kids sneaking lollies, and I'm like, do not eat lollies, and they're like,
Well, I just want to see if I can. I found a young Asian guy who did a meme about it today. Let's see if I can find him. It was I did share it. Yeah, you keep chatting amongst yourselves because where is it? Because it was so good.
Blows my fucking mind, man.
Just one more muddying the water and no detail. When they were interviewing Kush down in Tasmania about the councils, Michael, you just asked if Wayne thinks it's balanced. I mean, there was real selective framing, if you like, because they're focusing on the freedom movement, sovereign citizens' challenge to institutional authority, right? But they don't go on. They don't give any real time at all, not even 10 seconds, to explore why we're so dissatisfied with the government. And again, a complete lack of detail with the councils with Kush. Again, muddying the waters, and this framing. When they frame things like that, no, I cannot say that it's balanced at all.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree. There's
I still can't get over the fact they basically had a guy who extortioned. Basically,
I love when you get stuck on a point too, because you can't let it go.
Known, man.
Oh, Tom.
How did they not think this? We were going to find this out.
Tommy's going to be in bed 5 o'clock in the morning, just going, "Can't believe it." He can't get over it, can he?
Maybe the serial killer they wanted to use was still locked up, so they couldn't wait.
Epstein's killer is busy. He's doing promos for the American media. I think also that, they went into that American footage, and that was obviously to give everybody a jolt into, all right, we've heard from this weirdo who's talking about paperwork, but we're not going to go into any details about what he's actually talking about, so he seems loose. And then blah, blah, blah. And then they went, and this is what happens. And then they show a big heap of random people shooting cops at road stops in America.
Which happens all the time.
He said they're sovereign citizens. Who fucking knows if that footage was actually anything at all? He could have just found police shooting on Google and just used that footage. And then it flicks to the guys in Australia that did that shooting on the cops, which is obviously fucked up, and like nobody thought that was a good thing, and I looked really into that, and because it was very close to where my dad lives. It was down in South mid Queensland in the Chinchilla sort of area. And that's not very far from where my dad is. And when I went down and spoke to Dad, he was talking about people that knew those guys, and they were well known as fucking lunatics. The brother was anyway. And then one of them was a teacher who got fired from his job for not vaccinating, or he had a vaccine injury, something happened. And he'd been going off, and they'd been going off the rails and losing their shit for a long time. And they weren't in any sort of movement. They were doing their own thing. And even in that footage, he said they had some of the same dot points. I can't remember the wording he used, but basically they had hit points.
He used the word martyr. That sovereign citizens viewed them as martyrs.
Nobody has ever. I have never seen a single person come out in anywhere and say, "Fuck yeah, they're our man." And if they did, they would be absolutely fucking shouted down. None of us. And nobody wants anything to do with that, or applauds that, or thinks that was any good. And those guys were absolutely loose units.
I agree with. I just concur. I haven't heard anyone around Australia refer to them as martyrs
ever.
No, never.
Yep.
So they made up a lot of shit. There was so much made up stuff. Oat Latte. He started just making stuff up as well towards the end. Let's bury some guns in the backyard. Let's do that. Like he literally just started listing
next to the tomatoes.
Next to the tomatoes. But he wasn't the only one. They were doing it for the entire time. There was a lot of instances where they would just drift off into, well, anything could happen. This could happen and that could happen. So it was extremely unbalanced.
Yeah. I mean, so they didn't have anything that going could happen.
This could happen.
Yeah.
What ifs and could be's aren't.
I also want to go back to Epic though. Wayne, that was the guy they arrested, I can't remember his name now. He was arrested with a shotgun. That was very, very early on in the Canberra protest.
Yes.
We were there for about almost another week. So say that was on the Monday, the Tuesday. It was Monday, say it was Friday when everyone started turning up, and Saturday, and the huge march was on the weekend. So we did not go home after that. It was the biggest march in Australian history on the Parliament steps, and they admitted that. The ABC admitted that, which means the police commissioner of the ACT, why don't you talk to him? He got in front of Parliament and said there was only 10,000 people at that protest. And ABC just said and had the footage to show that it was absolutely the biggest protest on the capital in Australia's history. So he needs to be called out as perjury, because surely there has to be a charge for lying in front of the Parliament.
Yep.
And that's the police commissioner of the ACT lying in front of the Parliament, and the ABC have just come out and said it was the biggest protest. So there is surely a charge. I know he won't get charged, but surely that is a charge. There has to be a perjury charge for lying to Parliament.
Absolutely. Here.
What is it? What's it from that movie? Tell him he's dreaming.
Suffering, you jocks.
I know I'm dreaming. Okay, I'm a bit whacked, so I'm tired. Only tired. Haven't done anything. I'm tired. I might go out with I'll go out with this song that I wrote for Epic. So this is for Epic, guys. It's great fun. Great fun to be on.
It's good
fun
time.
to be on another night, because we've been on with you guys on the What the Fuck show. It's fun to be on off. And I'm sorry, PJ, you couldn't make it. And George was wanting to come on too, but it was just a bit crowded. But this is actually fun, and I admire you all for doing this. And look,
I just got a private message from PJ as well. He goes, I just talked to Mahmoud and I'm starting my own show with him next week.
Could you imagine if that son of a bitch
It's the Mut and PJ show. The Mut and PJ show.
The Muddy Peach.
The Muddy Peach. The Muddy Peach podcast.
The Muddy Peach.
And now, for everyone watching, I want this pause. Wayne works about 60 hours a week. So to get him on tonight, he works his ass off as I believe you're a truck driver, Wayne, or a builder, right? A builder, sorry.
Yeah, I'm a chippy. Yeah,
a chippy. So he works 60
not
hours
after
a week.
tonight.
Tom here also works huge hours. It's just, and so it's a real pleasure to have them on. So all people watching us, this is it. Kelly and I live on the road doing this full time, and Robin also does this full time. And so this is it. We're up against ABC, put a lot of money behind that, flying this reporter all around the country. He would have had a nice crew with him, all doing it, all to attack us. We are your defense, and we survive on fumes. And so we are your defense. So if you want to buy some B merch, or we're getting some merch for these boys, Tom finally sent through some artwork. Only took 5 years.
It was something I knocked up on ChatGPT.
So we'll be getting on to that soon. So we're going to get some merch for the What the F Boys, because I think the What the F Boys I think the Tuesday is a huge show, and it's the same for Robin. Robin doesn't get any of the accolades she deserves. I think she's one of the podcasters in Australia. She's so defiant. She's so fucking funny. She's actually adding words into the vernacular that I use all the time, prostitutes and all this stuff. It's just this. So hats off. We are a part of the face of the freedom movement, and all we are here to do is to question and to hold up a mirror to society, say things here don't make fucking sense, and that's the truth, including the machete bins. You know, Tom, the other day was absolutely great chatting with you in the park. I had a ball, and it would have gone on longer.
What's wrong with that?
The camera died. But the camera died. But Tom and I would have gone on for hours, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah.
That was good. It was great.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to say before we go to the song?
Be free.
Love you all. You're amazing.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, be free.
I think our show was actually better than Four Corners.
I'd love a what the fuck cap. What the fuck caps are coming. That logo's in front of us.
We'll get some.
And I'll get you the artwork for the T-shirt that.
I want a what the fuck hat, but then on the back that Trump. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Got to hear. Wait on. Oh, this is. Where the hell is it? Oh, it must be in the main. Here it is.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
What a moment in history.
People might hate Trump, but I've got to say, I don't know what's up there. Why is that? Why aren't we on? Oh, the thing I like about Trump, he's fucking entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Biden was as boring as dog shit, and you knew he was crooked. Trump, you're always going, "What's he done today? What's he done today?"
Well, to be honest, Biden was pretty entertaining too, just in another way, like in a slow train wreck, like can't look away, kind of entertaining.
That's true. All right, we're going to head off, guys. Thanks so much for coming on, everybody, and share this, and see if ABC gets their nose out of joint because we took the piss. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
We came down from Darwin with the dust in our veins. We drove across the Nullarbor, driven by change. There were convoys from Melbourne and busloads from Cairns, where we camped at Wodonga and fueled up at Pheasant's Nest. And there were tears of hope singing through our liberated eyes as we scrawled freedom forever across our government's lives. As we scrawled freedom forever across all our government's lives. And we didn't come to start a war, and we didn't come to hate. Instead we came to remind you that we were still your mates. And we didn't come to start a war, and we didn't come to hate. Instead we came to remind you that it was not too late. But our country had gone crazy, corrupted by fear. And before us the long path was already flooded with tears. Yet in epic we were dancing, for we knew what we'd done. Together we'd made the birth of all our freedoms. And this new cry for liberty, with the smiles in our hugs, as the cops haunted our periphery like tyranny's new thugs. But
just one stop. I'll be in Colac on probably tomorrow night and Saturday to watch Rahana in the Magnolia Tree. So if anyone wants to record a story or anything, you're in the Colac area, come down and let's have a chat.
for one night in Canberra, we knew we were aglow, and our luminance was shining like a beacon of hope. And we didn't come to start a war, and we didn't come to hate. Instead we came to remind you that we were still your mates. And we didn't come to start a war, and we didn't come to hate. Instead we came to remind you that it was not too late. So never forget how, by just being authentic, we from a showground called Epic. So never forget how, by leading the way, we wrote a fresh song of freedom that you can still sing today. So sing like you've never sung before. Sing now like your soul's found its wings. Sing out like an echo through our time, until our grandchildren are born humming our lines. Until our grandchildren are born in the freedom's warm and glorious light. Until our grandchildren are born in the freedom's warm and glorious light.